Hello friends, welcome to today's class on affirmations. My name is Nayaswami Anandi. I live at Ananda Village in California. And you have been studying Swami Kriyananda's lessons from the Raja Yoga course, the written and the spoken, on affirmations. And he goes into great depth about how to reprogram the old patterns in the subconscious mind that are no longer serving us by putting in positive thoughts. So you have a lot of depth in that, and today I thought I would supplement that by what I would call affirmative living. And to start that, I'd like to give a little bit of a background, which is that we ourselves are like a bar magnet in our astral body, in our energetic body. We have at the top of our head the positive pole of the magnet, which means that within ourselves right now, you have God realization. You are one with the Creator. We just are unable to realize it at this point because we also have at the bottom of the bar magnet the negative pole, the Kundalini energy, which is our commitment to being separate from God. So we have a little dance going on. Part of us wants to be expansive. That's what union with God means. A very expanded feeling that unites us not only with the Creator, but of all creation. We feel our oneness with all people, with all of the world around us. And this joy of God always within us. But at the same time, we feel this contractive energy at the base of the spine that says, I don't want to try that hard. I want to be asleep. Don't bother me. Let me just go into subconscious. Let me just veg out, as the expression is. And so, as a friend of mine said, how long is the spiritual path? The spiritual path is 3 feet long. It's the distance from the top of the head to the base of the spine. All we have to do is go through that distance, traverse that distance from that sense of separateness to that sense of union, and we have God realization, but it's quite a journey, very complicated. We go up, we go down, and so forth. So what we're trying to do as spiritual people is to unite our energy with the upward flowing energy. The more that we can point ourselves in an upward direction, the more that the magnetism of God's presence within us will draw us. It's up to us which direction we choose. These forces are not operating on us, but rather as we invite them, they cooperate with us. And so the more we can point ourselves toward the positive, the more we will be drawn toward our God nature, toward our God self. And how do we do that? We do that with the tools of yoga, meditation, chanting, yoga postures, and also with using our thoughts to point our thoughts in an upward direction. In the Raja Yoga course, Swami talks about the brain, the subconscious qualities in the brain, and the superconscious. The subconscious at the back of the brain, the superconscious at the spiritual eye. And that's a reflection of that same dual pull. So we find it very very primeval within us, and it expresses itself in our brain as well. So people, even materialistic people, are very aware that this sense of expansion is something they want, and that's why people want more. They want more possessions, more friends, more experiences, more food, more of everything. But all those materialistic avenues never quite satisfy. And so then we have to go out and do more of the same because we can't ever fill that longing, which is really for more consciousness, higher consciousness. So the yogi says, instead of trying to get that higher consciousness from outside, I will use tools that I have available that I just mentioned to work with my own consciousness, to point myself in the direction of expansion, which I can do in a cave, which I can do only within myself. I don't need outward things to draw that sense of joy and happiness. And so this affirmative living, whether it involves actual use of affirmations as Swami Kriyananda taught you, or some of the other tools I'm going to add to that, which are very much allied, it's all the same thing. How do we point ourselves in the upward direction? In about 25 years ago, I went to our clinic at Ananda, near Ananda Village, for a checkup. I was meeting with my nurse practitioner there, who happened to be a fellow Kriyaban disciple friend from Ananda. And she was asking the usual questions. And I said, well, I'm having this problem. I don't remember what the problem was, something psychological, and I suspect, maybe many of you realize this, that many people who come onto this path seem to have feelings of, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be a disciple on this path, and so on. It was probably something like that. Anyway, so I shared this problem with her, and she took out the medical prescription pad and she wrote me a prescription. And her prescription was for an affirmation. And she said, in the instructions for the prescription, she said, I want you every night as you're lying in bed, before you fall asleep, repeat this affirmation for 5 minutes. And when you arise in the morning, before you get out of bed, repeat this affirmation for 5 minutes. Because as you've learned, right before bed, right on arising, the subconscious mind is the most open. And here's the prescription that she gave me. Excuse me. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me His perfect love, peace, and wisdom. And so I followed her prescription and it worked like a charm. So I wanted to just bring up, before we go into a few other tools and experiences together, that many times seekers on the path will say to me, why don't I want to meditate? Why do I have these negative feelings about myself? Why is this negative attitude in myself, and so on? And I want to suggest that asking the question why is really a time-wasting maneuver. The reason why is because of that Kundalini pull that I mentioned to you, that longing inside of us that just doesn't want to reach up. It's primeval, it's deep inside of us, an unwillingness to be more than we are, while at the same time we have a great longing to be more than we currently are. So the two are in battle. And so rather than ask why, I think, just as my nurse prescribed, don't ask why, say, what am I going to do about it? And begin to use these tools of affirmation and also some of the tools I'm about to share right now. Yogananda gave us 2 tools that I'd like to walk through with you right now. We'll do it briefly, but you can come back to this and review them because they're very powerful. He said that we can think of every breath we breathe as a new incarnation. When a person dies, they die with an exhalation, don't they? When a person is born, they begin life with an inhalation. And so what he suggested to us is that we use the breath to start over. So let's say you're hung up about something, you're resisting something that's coming to you in life, you're not happy about it. Just take that awareness into you. You might inhale an awareness of that negative resistance that you have and forcefully exhale it. Let it go. End of that incarnation. And now begin a new incarnation with a deep inhalation, drawing in God's light, God's positive power to transform you, to start afresh. Let's just do this once together. Just bring to mind some resistance. Now exhale it completely. Let it go. Now, along with me, inhale God's light and positive strength to start fresh. Now Yogananda offered a second tool, which is similar to this one, but different. This is for those of us from time to time who get locked into worries. Maybe we just can't get it out of our head. We're seriously worried about something. Well, this is a very bad thing to do to our nervous system, and Yogananda encouraged us to get rid of it as quickly as we can. And here's the way he suggested. He said that you become aware of that worry, inhale, tense the body all over, holding that worry, and then as you throw the breath out, let the worry go completely. And as you inhale, make your mind like a blank movie screen. You're just looking at that gray blank movie screen right here in your forehead. There's nothing on it. No concerns and no worries whatsoever. And you're holding your mind in that blank space for as long as you can. You're breathing naturally, but you're just holding that quiet, worried space in your mind. And then when your mind wants to think again, bring in a happy memory that you have, something from the past or some imagination, whatever it is that lifts your mind to a positive arena. Let's just do that once together. If you're worried, or you can pretend you're worried if you're not, let's just gather those worries up. Inhale, throw the breath out, let go of all those worries. Make your mind a blank screen. Hold that free, open place inside yourself, not a ripple of thought. And then bring into mind to show on that movie screen a happy memory or a happy imagination that lifts your consciousness and gives you a fresh start. They're simple exercises, but they're important exercises to take us away from the negative, open us to the positive. Okay? Now, Swami Kriyananda gave 2 exercises that I want to share with you, equally brief. One is when we think about problems in our life, what's the most common feeling? I can't rise to this. And he suggested that we use the very simple affirmation, I can. I can. And we take that I can, that thought of I can, and we rotate it. He didn't say which direction, but I think for me, clockwise seems to be the best. Take that thought of I can and rotate it at the point between the eyebrows, the spiritual eye. Feel that I can is going deep into your mind. The thought of I can, it's going into your subconscious. It's enlivening your conscious mind. And as you repeat I can more and more deeply, silently in your mind, rotating it at the spiritual eye, your superconscious self is attuning to the reality of that. Let's just take a moment and do that together. Bring the thought of I can to the spiritual eye, rotate it there, and attune yourself to the power of it, to the power of what is true. I can. If you have trouble believing it, align it to the presence of God within you. With God's presence, you can do anything. Okay. And the final affirmation from Swami Kriyananda is about as short as anything could get. And that is the word yes. He recorded his first musical album with Say Yes to Life. when things come at you from life and you want to just curl up and say, no, no, say yes. I meet this with joy because I know God has sent this to me, not to punish me, but to help me to grow stronger. So yes. Now, of course, if someone comes up to you, an old buddy, and says, hey, pal, do you want to go drinking with me at the bars? Of course, I hope you say no to that invitation. But in yourself, you can say yes to the opportunity to affirm your strength. Yes to the opportunity to greet your friend with kindness and yet to speak your own truth. So having what Kriyananda called an attitude of say yes to life. So these are all things that can help us live an affirmative lifestyle. And I'd like to end today by sharing with you an experience I had, and also ending with what has become my favorite affirmation because of that experience. In about 2010, I was taking a seclusion in Swami Kriyananda's apartment. Swami Kriyananda, when he used to travel to India or Italy, made his apartment available to the ministers in the community at Ananda Village so that we could take our annual week of seclusion, where we try to meditate much more than usual, be in silence, really connect with God on a deeper level. And I was anticipating this week with great enthusiasm, and yet about a week before my seclusion was to start, I came down with a bad flu. So that flu was mostly healed by the time I went into seclusion, but I still had a cough, and mostly I had exhaustion. I was just tired. And so when I sat to meditate, I was fighting to sit for 30 minutes, which is way less than a person expects to meditate when they're in seclusion, and it was frustrating. Well, at the same time, I took with me into seclusion to work on, I was doing final editing on one of the books in the Wisdom of Yogananda series. The book by Yogananda is called How to Have Courage, Calmness, and Confidence. And that book includes the original version, the original edition of his book, Scientific Healing Affirmations. And so in this editing process, I was reading that chapter over and over to make sure it flowed right. And the thought came to me, hello, you should be doing these affirmations. You need them. And so with great determination, I took one of the affirmations from the book and I repeated it many times. Now, as you know, when we do affirmations, we start loudly, then we go to a normal voice, then a whisper, then silently to reprogram the subconscious, and then taking it deep into the superconscious. And so I actually did each of those steps many times. And Yogananda said that once you get attuned to the affirmation, the most transformative part of it is the silent part, where you're going into the subconscious, where you're tuning your superconscious mind to it completely. So I don't have time to do it very many times today, but I'd like to end this recording by doing this affirmation with you. And so I'd like to ask you to sit up straight. We'll do this once loudly, once more inwardly, once in a whisper. We'll do it maybe just once silently, and then we'll take it into the superconscious, and we'll do it a few more times than that. So let's inhale. Let's tense the body all over. Tense, throw the breath out. Again. Now draw your gaze and your mind to the point between the eyebrows and repeat after me. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. So we take this more softly. Use this as a very visual, energetic command. Feel the energy flowing into the medulla as you're saying these words. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. Now say this in a whisper. I'll be continuing to say it aloud. Take this deep inside yourself. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. Now silently absorb this into the subconscious mind. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. Now hold your mind at the spiritual eye, and we'll repeat this a couple of times. The first time, repeat it after me, and the second time, and perhaps the third time, repeat it with me mentally. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge. Through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power, in blood and glands, by sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. I will life force to charge. With godly will, I will it charge through my nerves and muscles all, my tissues, limbs, and all, with vibrant, tingling fire, with burning, joyous power in blood and glands. By sovereign command, I bid thee flow. By my command, I bid thee glow. By my command, I bid thee glow. Now silently meditate on the feeling that you have vibrating within you. Hold that feeling at the spiritual eye. Absorb that divine energy into yourself, body, mind, and soul. May your practice of affirmations speed you quickly on your way to God realization. God bless you all.